And we are back. We
It's
have got
us
a
again.
big one for you this week. Bigger than usual.
What do we have?
We've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 more full-length films and 1 short for you. A little bit more than usual. Mega show for the end of the year.
Mega show.
You might say we're building up our show numbers, but you could just say
Mega show.
Mega show.
Mega show is more fun to say.
Yeah, episode 149. This time we have...
Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, that's a funny one.
Jack Frost.
That's a funny one.
Jack Frost 2.
Not so funny.
Ginger Dead Man.
Oh my God.
Just one sick flick. And a couple of newbies that are not funny and not Christmas. A House on the Bayou and The Deep House.
Yeah, we've been doing 31 days of Christmas and holiday films, all this ho-ho-ho Santa jingle stuff. But we've got these movies to give away. We've got some major giveaways going on.
Giveaways. I
We've
love
got-
giveaways.
A House on the Bayou. It's a really cool,
Thriller.
let's say thriller.
Psychological thriller. Yeah.
And The Deep House, which is an underwater haunted house movie.
Underwater thriller.
We've also got one called Hide and Seek, which is a bit of a mistaken identity kind of movie that we'll be talking about next week.
That one's really a psychological thriller.
But we have 9 copies of each one of these to give away.
And these are digital codes, right?
Yep, for Redbox. Just plug it in your app and you can watch it immediately.
Very friendly app and very easy to use.
9 copies of A House in the Bayou. We will choose a winner on December 26th.
So you'll be able to watch them on any pad, device, phone,
Smartphone,
stream it to your
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Many options for viewing.
So we'll contact 9 lucky people on the 26th, which is the day after this show airs, so hurry up for that one. We're going to give away 9 copies of The Deep House on January 2nd, and 9 copies of Hide and Seek on January 7th. And I'll bet we're going to have another giveaway, at least one more after that. All the winners will be chosen from the following: 3 subscribers for each of these movies from horrorbulletin.substack.com, our weekly newsletter where you get all our reviews. 3 followers for each of those movies from the Twitter account @HorrorMovieGuys. That's our show's main podcast. And 3 followers for each of the movies for @HorrorBulletin on Twitter. That is the newsletter account. So 27 movies given away. That's a lot.
That's a lot of movies.
That's a whole lot of movies.
That's a lot of viewing.
All right. So, yeah. What are we starting
and
with?
we watched them first, so we can talk
We
about
have
them
watched them all,
a little
yes.
bit. Yeah. Well, we're going to start with Santa's Sleigh, aren't we?
Okay, yeah, well, let's save the 2 movies that we've got the giveaways for the end, because they're new, you probably haven't seen them, and you don't want to miss anything for skipping through the spoilers.
Especially House on the Bayou. Watch that first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before. Before.
We'll keep-
I think I enjoyed that more not knowing anything about it.
We will keep the
It's one of
spoilers
those.
to a minimum on those 2 new films. But we'll do our usual spoilery everything on the Santa Claus film, Santa's Sleigh from 2005.
Because we figure after 16 years, spoilers are a fair game now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was directed by David Steinman and also written by David Steinman. Stars Bill Goldberg, the big wrestler guy, and Douglas Smith, Emily DeRaven. Runtime, 1 hour, 18 minutes. There's
Yeah.
a trailer on YouTube.
Do you know if Bill Goldberg still does wrestling?
I don't know if he still does.
This is 16 years ago. He was at his peak popularity-wise back then. I haven't heard that he's left, but I really don't keep up with wrestling anymore.
No, I don't.
He was big once.
Well, the spoiler-free judgment zone.
Uh-huh.
This one starts right out with the gate with the over-the-top kills and humor. Toilet humor. And Santa is played by Bill Goldberg, who is a big professional wrestler, and it's a big bombastic performance that he gives.
He's not subtle.
And there's quite a body count, and Santa is deadly. But this one is more comedy than horror.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the gore is
It's there.
it's a high level of gore, and yeah, but he's something. Yeah. Well, the synopsis. It's time for Christmas dinner. There's the usual family fighting. There's a rumbling at the chimney, and Santa Claus breaks in the wall. He drop kicks the poodle into the ceiling fan, stabs the father, sets the mother's hair on fire, kicks the brother, and variously kills the others. It's quite a dinner party. And credits roll. And there were a lot of celebs.
James Caan, Fran Drescher, 3 or 4 other very recognizable people there.
Faces.
Yeah, they burned through the cast list before the credits
wow, there's a lot
roll.
of big names in this movie. And then they kill them all immediately.
It was a small scene, but it was a memorable
Brief
scene.
but intense, which sets up the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're in Hell Township on Christmas Eve. Cranky old woman grouches about being told happy holidays at the Jewish deli. The old woman drives down the road. Santa pulls up behind her in his buffalo-driven sleigh.
What is that thing? It looked like a buffalo to me, but later on they called it a reindeer. I've never seen a reindeer look like that thing.
I think it was a buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he runs her off the road, gives a hearty ho, ho, ho. Mary and Nicholas get off work at the deli. She wants to drive him home, but he's not eager. She insists, so they head home. He doesn't care much for Christmas. It's always disappointing. Nicholas goes inside, and we see there are several locks and a security system. The power goes off. He goes into the basement to flip the breaker and finds Grandpa down there looking for a light bulb. Grandpa's kind of a wacky inventor. And he just made a portable phonograph and a lethal-looking nutcracker. He also invented brown-colored toilet paper.
Ooh, that's not really a bad idea. Well, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. You don't know when you're done.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, just the wacky inventions that he comes up with. Well, Grandpa shows Nicholas his secret bunker that he's got behind the basement. Meanwhile, Santa stabs a robber with a sharp candy cane. Nicholas asks Grandpa why he hates Christmas. Grandpa explains the true nature of Santa Claus, and it's not a happy picture. Mary comes to the door with some baked Wolverine.
What?
Yeah.
It's a strange town.
She brings Nicholas a gun that transforms into a robot. At the church, the money-grubbing Pastor Timmons is asking for generous donations, and afterwards he goes to the strip club and spends it there.
Oops.
Well, Santa comes in right behind him. He stopped in for some ho-ho-hos. He kills all the men, well, except the pastor.
Ho-ho-hos at the strip club.
Yeah. Sets the place on fire, comes outside, has found his buffalo, has eaten the valet. Well, Nicholas yells at Mary because she's into hunting and guns, and he doesn't approve. She gets annoyed and leaves. Nicholas reads on in Grandpa's book. Santa was the son of Satan who lost a bet and had to play good Santa for 1,000 years. That time is now up. He doesn't have to be good anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
And he's not. Well, some kids open their gifts and they explode, beheading them. Santa breaks into Mr. Green's deli and impales Green with a menorah. Nicholas finds him there. There is a Santa Claus, says the dying man. Yeah, the humor in this is just sick. It's funny. It really works really well. Nicholas tells the police captain about evil Santa, but he's skeptical. Evil Santa stops in at the police station, and he's no longer skeptical. There's no more police.
You know, with all the killer Santas we've done this month, why would anybody be skeptical?
Yeah.
Santa's a badass.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one certainly is. Nicholas shoots him, which only annoys Santa. He comes after him. They go home and tell Grandpa what happened. They hide in the bunker as Santa arrives. Grandpa has some snowmobiles hidden away, and the two of them make an escape. Well,
he's prepared.
Grandpa holds him off. Grandpa confronts Santa. Well, they've known each other for centuries, and I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa was not really a human. Grandpa gets run over by a reindeer. As the song goes. Santa gets in his flying sleigh and lobs gift-wrapped grenades at the kids as they try to escape. They lead Santa right into the center of the town and hide out at the high school. Mary and Nicholas have a romantic moment before Santa comes in on a Zamboni, nearly gets them until Grandpa, the angel who has been waiting all these centuries, stops him. And they have a curling contest once again, just like they did 1,000 years ago.
Curling?
Yep.
That's a real thing?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
If Grandpa wins, Santa goes back to being good forever. If he loses, he goes back to hell for eternity. The grandpa does. That was his cost. Well, Santa cheats and throws grandpa into the hellhole. Nicholas shoots Santa with the exploding chestnut from the deadly nutcracker earlier.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Well, Nicholas and Mary pull grandpa out of the hole. He was clinging to the edge. Santa goes back to his sleigh. They tell the trap shooting club to shoot at the flying reindeer as Santa approaches. And just in time, Mary's father shoots him with an RPG.
You really need a gun nut at certain times. Sometimes the gun people are really on the ball. This guy's got an RPG.
Nicholas and Mary kiss. It's a happy ending. Except Santa's not dead. Lost his sleigh, but the closing scene shows him buying a ticket to the North Pole on an airline. He's incognito now. As incognito as somebody as big as he can be.
Okay, well, the animated bit is great, just like the real holiday specials, and you know which one I mean. The rest is kind of ridiculous. It's juvenile humor. Literally, there are jokes about whether Captain Cock or Bush are better cops. Which do you like better, Cock or Bush? You don't like Bush? No, I prefer Cock. It's clearly aimed at 12-year-olds and wrestling fans, a particularly focused audience. A lot of it's kind of cringeworthy humor, but there are some genuinely funny moments here. There are lots and lots of cameos here, especially in that first scene, but they do appear throughout. Overall, I liked it, but definitely expect more horror or humor than horror. What you think?
I liked it.
Yeah. It's silly, but it's good.
Yes, worth checking out.
And next up, we've got another silly one, Jack Frost from 1997. Directed by Michael Cooney, stars Christopher Allport, Scott McDonald, Shannon Elizabeth, hour and 29 minutes. Spoiler-free. What happens when a death row murderer gets sprayed with genetic chemicals? He becomes a killer snowman. It's got a full winter's worth of bad puns, and overall, it's really pretty cool. For extra fun, look for snowmen in some form in almost every single scene. What'd you think?
I liked it. Big thumbs up on this one.
Yeah, it had at least one really kind of horrid sequel, which we'll cover in a minute. But the first one was really good.
Yes. First one, and you could stop there and that'd be okay.
Yeah, probably could. Mm-hmm. We hear a story about a killer named Jack Frost who loved to kill people as the credits roll. He put body parts in pies, but he was caught because he worked at the bakery. He's being executed tonight. Oh, that was a real guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut to security guards driving a prisoner transport through the snowstorm. Why do they always transport prisoners during a storm?
And I don't think that's how death row works. They don't have the prisoner somewhere else and then transport
Take them to the kill
them
factory.
To yeah. But anyway, it works for the movie.
Yeah,
it's necessary for the movie.
This bus contains Jack Frost. There's another van containing genetic research materials. Jack overpowers the guard in the back just as the two trucks collide. Jack gets doused in chemicals, which do what these things always do in movies. They melt him into the snow. Well, Jack flops around in the snow, and later we hear that he ran off. But he doesn't have any legs anymore. Uh-oh. Sam Tyler, the sheriff who arrested Frost in the first place, still has nightmares and flashbacks. Frost vowed revenge when Sam caught him. His son Ryan wants to make a snowman later. There's going to be a snowman making contest in town soon. And all this stuff with Jack Frost and Sheriff Tyler happened previously. There was no other movie. This just, made up flashbacks. They get a call at the sheriff's office for somebody died. The old man looks frozen to death. Sam calls FBI agent Manners and asks if Jack Frost is really dead. Manners says it's all fine, and then talks to Agent Stone, the guy from the chemical company who knows exactly what really happened. Ryan goes outside and decorates the snowman that just suddenly appeared in their front yard overnight. Billy, the town bully, knocks the snowman's head off. The bully is suddenly beheaded by a sled that came out of nowhere. Billy's dad goes outside that evening and gets an axe through the head, but first. Jack the Snowman then decorates Billy's mother. Billy's sister, Jill, was out with Tommy at the time and misses all the fun. Sam goes to the station and finds Manners and Stone waiting for him. Stone says the creature can freeze and unfreeze at will. It can change shape. It melted, flowed under the door, and then it reformed.
Yeah, good luck keeping him out.
Yeah, shutting the door won't do it. Sam calls a town meeting to announce a curfew. As he talks, Paul Darrow beats on the door to come in. He's screaming about a killer snowman outside. Manners knocks him out before he tells anyone the full story. Deputy Pullman goes up the mountain to check out Paul's place and runs into Jack on the road. Then Jack runs over him. Tommy and Jill still don't know about the murders. They break into Sam's house to have sex, because who wouldn't want to have sex in the sheriff's kitchen?
A weird scene.
Neither
Yeah.
one of them are his kids, though.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Let's just break into the sheriff's house and have sex in his kitchen.
for the thrill, I guess.
Yeah. Jack comes in and shoots Tommy with icicles and bad puns, while Jill decides to take a bath, and the water turns into Jack. He's not just snow and ice, he's water too. Agent Manners wants to call in reinforcements, but there's a big snowstorm coming in. Agent Stone says the company should be called in. Jack appears in front of all of them, so now they know what they're up against, and they barricade themselves inside the sheriff's office. They load up the corridor with spray cans and aerosols and then shoot it, blowing Jack up. He immediately reforms. Stone comes clean and tells the truth about what happened to Jack. Jack rolls in, and they all force him back with hair dryers into the boiler furnace. He melts away forever, right?
Wrong.
Nope, he's back again,
Steam.
and this time he bites Manners' head. Stone walks out and throws up. Jack was hiding inside him. Well, this whole water thing is difficult.
Yes.
They figure out that antifreeze will do the job, so Ryan and Paul go off to get some while Sam and Jack face off. Sam pushes Jack out the window into a pickup truck bed full of antifreeze.
And that's
My,
the
how
end
coincidence.
That's the end of Jack.
The next day, they bottle up the antifreeze in the truck and bury it. That's the end of Jack Frost, right?
Till the sequel.
Okay, well, there's a lot of humor here. It's got good production values and appropriate levels of acting. The jokes show they knew it wasn't meant to be taken at all seriously, but it still was not cheaply made or cheap looking. This is a good-looking movie. It gets sillier and sillier as it goes on, but it never gets boring, and it is a lot of fun. The puns get pretty thick at times, but it's all good here. A very cool movie.
And another winner.
Yeah, also very good, yeah. And we saw a short film. What was it?
A Christmas Horror Story from 2021.
Not to be confused with A Christmas Horror Story anthology that we'll be talking about next week.
And this was directed by Alex Magana, written by Alex Magana and Jed Bryan, stars Marta Castelvi,
Works for me.
Diego Paz. Runtime is only 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Short.
It's a YouTube, and you definitely should check it out. Well, the synopsis, there's a woman taking down her Christmas tree before Christmas. Bad luck.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend comes in wearing a Santa suit and startles her. Well, Santa hat, yeah, and a sweater. And he goes to the store, leaving her alone with a highly insulted Christmas tree.
Never take the Christmas tree down before Christmas.
You are warned. Well, it's brightly lit, very well shot. It's a full story. Nothing missing, and it's too short to have much of a story, but it has all you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's not a lot to it, but it works.
It's a really good one.
yeah, it's good.
Right to the point.
Take your 3 minutes and go watch A Christmas Horror Story.
You betcha.
On the other hand, one you could probably avoid is Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, the sequel from the year 2000. Directed and written by Michael Cooney, stars Christopher Allport, Ellen Seeley, Chip Heller, hour and 33 minutes. Spoiler-free part, there's not a snowman's chance at the beach that this could be any good, but it tries. It takes the humor in the first one and forces it a little too much here. It's decent, but it doesn't match the original.
And that sums up my thoughts exactly.
Yeah, they try to duplicate the
decent,
first one, but no,
yeah,
not so much.
They don't quite make it. Yeah.
All right, well, we start out with Sheriff Sam, now in therapy, talking about Jack Frost. Nobody believes his crazy story, including the therapist. The receptionist, secretary, chef, and telephone repairman all listen in on the therapy session and laugh. He's a laughingstock of the town now, talking about a mutant killer snowman. And he refuses to tell anybody where they buried that antifreeze from the previous film. Still, though, as the credits roll, a couple of grave robbers dig up the grave of the antifreeze. Scientists pour all this antifreeze into a tank and start experimenting on it. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What could go wrong?
After the scientists go home, the cleaning guy comes in and accidentally knocks cold coffee into the tank. That was a secret ingredient needed to reanimate Liquid Jack. "Things to do, revenge to take," he says as he goes down the drain. Meanwhile, Sam and Ann are going on vacation, as per the psychiatrist's orders. Joe and Marla from the first movie are going along with them to a tropical resort. It's been a year since the previous stuff, and Sam needs to get out of town.
Christmas time again.
Well, the Colonel, sort of the host of the island, explains all the guests' purposes and motivations as they get off the truck, just like it was an episode of Fantasy Island.
Yeah, I was expecting Tattoo to pop up. Tell us about this one, boss.
Yeah. A couple of guys are lost at sea, and all they have to eat is a single carrot. Jack Frost is under the boat, and he kills them both to get the carrot. Did you recognize that one guy was Doug Jones?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unusual to see him out of some kind of costume, but he was there. Rose, Ashley, and Paisley are deciding how to divide up Ben and Dean, two guys from the bar. Ashley gets a big snow anvil dropped on her head. Paisley and Rose soon follow, one with icicles, the other with tongs to the eyes. Ow.
And that big snow anvil, that's like something out of a
absolutely,
Looney Tunes
yes.
cartoon. He's trying to drop little bombs on her and keeps missing. And then
Little pointy icicles.
And then he
miss.
just says, "Oh, to hell with it," and just kaboom.
Which a cartoon is a good way to explain a lot of the humor in this.
Yes. Yeah.
The Colonel finds the bodies of the three girls and calls for his head of security, Agent Manners. Sam recognizes Manners, but Manners has a new face, because it's a new actor, explained by having 15 surgeries to repair his injuries from the previous movie.
And that's a perfect explanation.
Yeah.
That's why he looks completely different.
Naturally, they want to cover it up and pretend it didn't happen to save the resort. Jack then assists a photographer and his swimsuit model and then kills them. She wants some kind of drink with ice in it, and hey, guess
He
who's
obliges.
ice? Yeah. Manners explains that Captain Fun is on their side in law enforcement. The captain suggests having a dress-up costume party. Sam thinks he spots Jack at the party. Manners and Captain Fun follow along, while Sam beats up the Colonel, who is wearing a snowman costume.
Oops.
That night, a girl sneaks out to skinny dip in the pool. Jack freezes the water over her, and she drowns. Afterwards, he decides to get a little carried away and freezes the entire island. He freezes a tropical island?
He lets it all loose. Yeah.
Next morning, Sam sees snow on site out on the tropical island. Captain Fun organizes a snowball fight. And somehow, most of the patrons pack long johns and winter outfits on their tropical vacation.
Yeah, they didn't seem bothered at all.
Yeah. Jack crashes the party, and mayhem ensues. Well, one thing leads to another, and eventually it's, Snowball's chance on the tropical island of going well, and before long it's up to Anne to save the day. Turns out Sam is allergic to bananas, and since the two are linked, Jack and there's babies. I forgot to mention the babies.
The snowball babies.
Oh, yes.
They were silly and fun.
Jack ends up having a whole bunch of little fluffy little babies that are all tiny little snowballs and with big teeth.
A touch of Gremlins there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so they end up loading up the super soakers with banana juice, and the cute little fluff balls explode in a montage of bloody carnage. Watching all his children die, Jack decides it's killing time. And he's right. He gets this travesty over with Bobby and the Colonel get stabbed, and then Anne ends up in the Iron Maiden. Sam shoots Jack with an arrow with a banana tied to it. Jack explodes, and Sam finds Anne in the resulting mess.
Happy ending. Never see Jack again.
I skipped over a little in the middle there.
That's all right. Yeah.
It's weird.
Hilarity happens. Hilarity and silliness.
Lots more puns, lots more snow. More gore, more deaths, less fun. It's a lot more of the same jokes and situations. Most of the surviving cast members returned, which does add an interesting element as Sam battles his justified PTSD. Jack's gotten a lot more powerful in this one, going from a simple serial killer into a being capable of controlling the weather. And he's able to reproduce, which is an interesting trick. Overall, though, there's not enough new here to make it worthwhile, and it's just trying too hard to be funny. It's maybe a little trying too much. And next we have The Ginger Dead Man.
Made in 2005, directed by Charles Band, written by William Butler, Dominic Muir, stars Gary Busey.
What? Who?
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
Robin Sidney, Ryan Locke. Runtime 1 hour, 10 minutes. It's on the short side. Evil never tasted so good, says the poster. Well, it's essentially Child's Play with a killer cookie puppet instead of a doll.
It pretty much is.
And if that sounds half-baked, you're right. It's pretty stupid. There are some entertaining moments and some decent puns, but overall doesn't quite make the good bad. It's more of a mediocre bad.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Do you think that was actually Gary Busey inside that Ginger Man costume, or was that just somebody else?
No,
He was just doing the voice.
Just his voice, I think,
All
at that
right.
point. Yeah. We do see him at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just his voice from that point. Well, we start with
Millard Findlemeyer.
Thank you. Millard Findlemeyer. Shooting up Cadillac Jack's diner. He torments several of the patrons before killing them. He's maybe just a little crazy. And Gary Busey does crazy well.
Oh, very well.
Yeah. He can't bring himself to kill the final girl in the diner. He just shoots her in the arm. But he is soon captured, swears to her that he will finish what he started.
This sounds like the first 10 minutes of Jack Frost.
A little bit, yeah. Well, we cut forward to the bakery after credits roll, where Sarah Lee,
Nobody doesn't like her.
the survivor from his rampage, works as a baker, and she looks at the newspaper clipping stating that Findlemeyer is going to be executed. She finds a box of gingerbread blend in the back porch just in time because she's running low, pours it into her mixer. Her assistant, Brick, cuts himself, accidentally drips blood into the gingerbread batter. And how many health codes does that violate?
Oh, wait a minute. She found gingerbread mix outside the back door.
Yeah, just sitting on the porch.
Delivery that she didn't order.
Yeah.
Then she makes the gingerbread, and the assistant bleeds into it, and they let it go anyway.
Yeah.
I think these people deserve what they get.
Yeah. Well, Julia reads the newspaper and tells Sarah that Findlemeyer was executed 2 days ago. They cremated him, sent his ashes to his mother. Sarah's mother, Betty, shoots at the big restaurant across the street. They want to run their bakery out of business. Jimmy Dean, yes, another name pun, runs the owner of the place, comes over, tells Sarah off. He offers to buy Sarah out, but she refuses. Well, meanwhile, Brick mixes the gingerbread, which grows little arms when he isn't looking, because the ashes got mixed up. And
Of course they did.
got sent to the bakery. Yeah. Sarah whines dramatically about her life to Brick. He goes home. She goes into the back room to continue baking. She rolls out the dough and stamps it with a cookie cutter and puts it in the oven. Lorna, Jimmy Dean's evil daughter, brings a rat inside the bakery to get them shut down, and the two girls end up having a pie fight, and donut fight, and bun fight.
They throw anything that's around at each other.
They bump into the electrical box, which shorts out and provides the last ingredient needed. The gingerbread man in the oven gets all Frankenstein-y, starts to laugh. He becomes the Ginger Dead Man. Amos.
Is he famous?
Yep, he is. Lorna's boyfriend comes in and opens the walk-in oven. The gingerbread man comes out, talks just like Gary Busey.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he's back. Well, the trio runs away, but overhears the gingerbread man in the storeroom eating. Old drunk Betty comes in, spots the rat. The gingerbread man confronts her. She puts down the booze, cuts her finger off.
I've drank enough of this stuff.
Yeah.
What am I seeing here?
Yeah. She recognizes his voice and he whacks her over the head with a frying pan.
Now, what you don't get from watching the trailer is the gingerbread man is about 2 feet tall.
Yeah,
he's
a
definitely
little
Chucky
guy.
sized.
Yeah.
He's a big cookie, but he's no Gary Busey.
Right, yeah. Well, Amos goes out to his car and gets a gun. The trio isn't smart enough to just leave through the unlocked door. He comes back inside, and Lorna asks, "Can you get us outside?"
This is a bakery. Have you ever been in a bakery?
They have doors.
They do.
They have exits. Yeah, there's some things like that in this. Well, there's some reminiscing and some fighting. Findelmayer goes outside. They do get outside, and he figures out how to drive, runs over some of them. They figure out that the resurrection is him. Lorna steps into a booby trap, gets a knife stuck in her head. So there's some deaths.
Oh, yeah.
Some gore, and yeah. Rick shows up out of nowhere and bites him in the head and literally eats the villain. He says, "Got milk?" But all that does is allow him to be possessed by the ginger dead man.
Oh.
So that ends poorly.
Don't eat the ginger dead man.
Yeah, and he ends up cooked good. And we'll never see him again.
Nah.
Nah.
Oh, yeah, we will. We're not going to watch them, but there are numerous sequels of this.
Yes, lots of them.
Ginger Dead Man versus Killer Bong was the title that jumped out to me.
And just Killer Bong gets a movie by himself, too.
Ginger Dead Man and the Passion of the Crust. Oh, my.
I love that title, though.
Yeah, there's another one I don't remember. All right. Well, Sarah's father and brother were killed in the pre-credit sequence, and we never stopped hearing about Sarah's personal dilemmas. It's pretty dull stuff, and it's not really well acted enough to sell it. These super low-budget, tongue-in-cheek horror parodies are never well acted, but this one takes the cake. I mean, it's really crummy. The acting here is kind of flaky, actually.
I see what you're doing there.
The creature effects are limited to a puppet with Gary Busey's voice. Seriously, this story is just awful. At any point, they could have walked out either the front door or the back door and just left the bakery, but instead they roamed all over the 3-room bakery until they were picked off one by one.
Even
It's
after
like,
the booby trap got set off.
yeah, it's like,
Okay, the booby trap is sprung. Now go through the door that's right behind where that booby trap was, and you're out.
or go out the front door, which never had any problem.
Right.
It's a little bakery. In the front, you have the showroom. In the back, you have a kitchen. Maybe there's a restroom or a storeroom, and then you go away. There's doors. And don't get me started on that huge walk-in oven. Is this a bakery or is it Auschwitz?
That was huge.
That was something. Yeah. Wow. It's kind of awful, but if you're in the mood for kind of awful, it's a fun kind of awful, I guess.
And it's got Gary Busey.
Which wraps up our Christmas holiday special for this week.
And comes to my favorite movie of the week.
I liked this one a lot. A House on the Bayou. Brand new movie. Still in the, I don't know if it's theaters or just pay to watch, but it's out there. It's streaming. We got links to pick it up and watch it in the show notes. Or, of course, sign up for the various Twitter accounts and win a copy. That's the best way to get it. Directed by Alex McCauley, written by him as well. Stars Angela Sarafian.
Who you will recognize from Westworld if you saw that series.
Yeah. Paul Schneider. He's been in lots of things. First season of Parks and Recreation is what I saw him in last.
Loads of stuff.
Leah McHugh. An hour, 28 minutes. There is a trailer in the show notes. The spoiler-free Judgment Zone says, the unnerving horror thriller, A House on the Bayou, is now available on digital and on demand. I guess it's not at the theaters. A family vacation in rural Louisiana takes a sinister turn when neighbors show up for dinner uninvited, testing the family's fragile bond and forcing dark secrets to come to light. Buy or rent A House on the Bayou and watch it today. It's unrated from Paramount Pictures. Okay, that was obviously from the DVD, but we both liked it a lot. It was not what either of us were expecting from the trailer.
The trailer is, a little bit misleading.
It looked like a home invasion on the trailer.
It did?
Yeah. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
It really is. Okay, so I will abbreviate the abbreviate the synopsis a little bit here so we don't get into too many spoilers.
And again, emphasizing that I think I enjoyed it even more not knowing
Yeah. So
what would, going into it blind.
if you want to skip ahead 5 minutes to get to the next movie, we won't blame you. So what happens? John comes home from work to find out that his wife, Jessica, has discovered that he's having an affair with Vivian. He tries to deny it, but she's got photos. She doesn't want to divorce him, but she insists that the two of them and their daughter should go on a vacation. He agrees to stop the affair immediately, and credits roll as ominous music plays. They drive to a huge plantation-looking house somewhere down on the bayou. Daughter Anna is impressed with the size of the place, and so am I. It was a nice place.
Yeah,
It's
huge.
large and very, very isolated. It's a working vacation because Jessica is a realtor who will be making a virtual tour for the house to be shown. She bosses John around, making him pay for his indiscretion. Yeah, he cheated, and she's not going to let him forget it.
No, he's going to have to earn things back. Yeah.
John and Anne go to town to pick up a few things, and they meet a teenager named Isaac, who introduces himself to Anna. He's a little older than she is, but she likes him. The old man behind the counter is really weird. On the way out, John finds a note saying, "You are being watched by the devil," written on his receipt. And pretty much all of this you get from the trailer, too, so we're not too spoily yet. There's a locked room in the house that they don't have a key for. That room's not even on the blueprint. Isaac stops over and invites them all to come to his house for dinner tonight, and they are the nearest neighbors. The old man at the counter earlier was his grandpa. There's some friction about their dinner plans, so Jessica says, "Yeah, we should go." And the dinner goes badly. It goes very badly.
Yeah, it doesn't go well. The dinner itself actually goes splendidly. The food's delicious, and they all have a good meal.
Yeah. Well, okay, skipping to the end here, why would anyone want to go on vacation to a bayou with mosquitoes and alligators and zombies and who knows what else in the first place? I have never seen anything good in a bayou movie.
Well, they didn't have mosquitoes and alligators and all that bad stuff here. They had other bad
Or zombies.
They had
None
other
of
bad
that.
things.
Yeah, they had a whole new set of problems. Okay, still, there were many surprises here that neither of us saw coming. It's creepy and suspenseful throughout. The music is great. It's not quite clear for a long time whether there's really anything going on or not. And at first, it seems like there's some supernatural stuff happening, but maybe when things start moving around, you aren't quite sure anymore. And the ending was really good, too. And there could be sequels in the works.
Who's who and what's what. And
Yeah.
makes you wonder.
We're going to leave it there, but I think this is the best movie we saw this week. We both liked it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, pick that one up. And then there's The Deep House, also from 2021, also available as a free prize. Sign up for Twitter or the mail list to get that. Directed by Alexandre Bastillo, Julian Mari, written by them and Julian David. Stars Camille Rowe, James Jagger, Eric Swain. 1 hour, 25 minutes. Spoiler free, says, a claustrophobic underwater haunted house. If that sounds like your kind of thing, give it a watch. Although the story has some logic problems, and nothing is ever really explained. Still, though, if you're claustrophobic or afraid of the water, yeah, it's a good one for you.
I do have to hand it for the filmmakers. As much stuff happens underwater.
Almost all of it after
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes.
And it's a fully furnished house, fully decorated house. That's all that stuff, all those props.
I would think this would be very difficult to make.
film and keep the water that clear with all the people moving around, the actors, and there would have to be crew and camera and all that stuff moving around, stirring up dust and dirt and particles, and it was most of the time very clear water. I was impressed.
That is one of the problems or drawbacks of the digital code kind of thing. You don't get the making of or any special DVD features.
I would enjoy seeing the making of on this one.
That would be interesting.
I'm assuming it would have been an interior controlled tank, not open water, but still even that, filtering and, keeping all the dust.
Even the scenes
particles.
outside where they're diving down to the house are very clear for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been interesting to know how they did it. Mm-hmm. Okay, again, I will keep this one really short and spoiler limited. Tina and Ben, a young couple, go to an abandoned sanatorium. They explore abandoned buildings for their streaming channel. They do a flyover with a drone, and supposedly 7 children were murdered in the asylum, and supposedly that nurse still haunts the hallways. 3 months later, Tina is holding her breath underwater in the bathtub. She made it up to 1 minute and 22 seconds for her best breath-holding time. Of course, she tells Ben 3 minutes, and he says, "Oh, that's it?" Turns out they're planning on going scuba diving. Credits roll.
And all that was just the setup. The previous ghost and the previous...
Yeah, that asylum thing doesn't really go anywhere. It's just that's
what
they do.
Character setup and introduction to what they do. And
Did you know that doing walkthroughs and streaming of abandoned buildings is a whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
They're now in a small, mostly abandoned village in France. They get directions to the secret spot on the lake, and it turns out there's crowds of vacationers there. It's a crowded park now. Oops. Ben wants more views on the YouTube channel, and this place isn't going to get them any more likes and subscribes because it's not interesting. Tina wants him to stop worrying and just enjoy their travels. Ben talks to some guy who knows a proper secret spot that has a perfectly preserved house at the bottom of the lake. Pierre explains that the lake was flooded voluntarily back in the 80s. They park the van and cover the last few miles by foot. They're kind of suspicious that he's leading them into some kind of, deliverance trap or something. But no, eventually they arrive at the spot. They get their scuba stuff set up, and Ben has an underwater drone as well. Ben explains that they have 60 minutes of air, and then they dive. First, they find a car that's in surprisingly good condition. You never know what you're going to find. At 30 meters down, they find the walled gate to the property that still has a no trespassing sign on the front gate. Well, they swim right over the fence, of course. They don't find a house at first. They find a crypt. Oh, nope, there is a house there as well. All the doors and windows are sealed, but they find a way in through the attic window. All the furniture is still inside the house. It's murky and hard to see at first, but they go through from room to room. They start hearing a voice. Was it on their radio or somewhere else? Most of the stuff inside is surprisingly well preserved. The drone dies, and they have to reboot it. Then they find scratches on the inside of the front door, as if something was trying to get out. The drone detects movement, and I think I'll stop there.
Okay.
Ooh. So we've got it's a haunted house underwater.
And when you said it's murky and hard to see,
just in the beginning.
At first I thought, they're not going to see a thing here because they're going through the attic.
Yeah.
And it is dark and very claustrophobic in the attic. But it opens up inside, once they're inside the house, gets much more visible. But yeah, my heart kind of fell that first scene. Like, ugh.
It got better.
Yeah, not going to see you. Yeah, it's very good.
Ben has some very expensive-looking drones for a guy whose YouTube channel only gets 50,000 views on his very best video. I don't think YouTube pays that well. He's got some nice-looking equipment there.
Yeah, he does.
There's lots of creepy imagery. It's fairly standard haunted house story otherwise, although this time it has the added gimmick of being underwater, and sometimes it is, despite what we just said, sometimes it's a little hard to see what's going on. After the first 10 minutes, there's literally no acting involved. It's guys in suits and masks underwater. The main characters could have been replaced by stuntmen or really good CGI for all I could tell. I don't think it was CGI, but...
No, I don't think so.
You really couldn't see any faces or any acting like that. There was lots of talking, which was almost certainly dubbed after the fact. There's a lot of stuff going on here with the story that I'm not going to spoil for you, but a lot of it doesn't get explained. There's not a lot of purpose behind what happens that I could tell. You agree with me?
I do agree.
Okay. All right. So anyway, if you like haunted houses and you don't like underwater, or you do like underwater, give it a shot. If you are aquaphobic or claustrophobic, this could be pretty tense for you. And that's kind of what you want anyway, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to give this one maybe a 6 out of 10. I wasn't blown away with it, but I don't regret watching it either.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
It's all right, yeah.
All right. Well, get ready for next week where we're going to have some more holiday classics and maybe another giveaway movie. We're going to watch Dead End from 2003. I like that one a lot.
Me too.
Wind Chill from 2007, which had a lot of similarities to Dead End, but I didn't like it as much. The Children from 2008. And one, what's it, Norway, Finland? Where was that thing shot?
Denmark.
Denmark,
Yeah.
called Saint. Or if you're looking it up online, it's Sint, S-I-N-T, from 2010, about St. Nicholas. We'll also talk about the brand new non-Christmas film called Hide and Seek from 2021. And we will give away some copies of that one as well. Lots of giveaways. So stop in at the website, horrorguys.com, and read the reviews. Sign up for the newsletter at horrorbulletin.substack.com. Or, of course, go to horrorguys.com, find a link. And, yeah. Leave us a nice review on iTunes or wherever you found podcasts. Why not? They say that very often, like and subscribe. But we're not doing YouTube, so, yeah, whatever. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.